There was also a little bit of an update about Starfield. I'm pretty indifferent about Starfield. Like, I played it a bit. I think the game's okay. I don't think it's like the worst game ever made. It did not grip me the way that I thought. I'm a huge space video game nerd. Obviously, I really like games that either take place in space or they involve space in some way. I like Fallout more than I like Elder Scrolls, just as an example. Not really space, but like I don't like medieval. I like futuristic or destroyed futuristic. It's a unique game. It's a little bit different, but Bethesda confirmed that there's going to be new Starfield story DLC, free updates, and a space travel overhaul. And here's what's interesting about that. They put out a 5-minute asset. So let's just give it a watch. Let's just see what they had to say, because they talked about, oh boy, they talked about the future of their franchise. It's Timothy Lamb. That's all you missed.
I got my start at a third-party testing house in Hunt Valley, Maryland. Probably the first title I remember being credited on was Spyro: Enter the Dragonfly. One of the guys that worked there said, "Hey, have you tried this game, Morrowind?" He's like, "You should pick it up. We did a little bit of work on it here. I'll give anything a shot." I was like sort of desperate for the fun to come back into gaming. I think I told Todd this story once where it was, I'm going through and I get off the boat and
Man, I just gotta say, back in the day when games did this, and it looks rudimentary by today's standards, this was like mind blowing. A 3D game with characters you could interact with. And, this is about the time when World of Warcraft was doing its thing. It was really, really special. It was a really special time in gaming when everybody was sort of trying to figure out this space and they weren't yet at the point where they were trying to squeeze every last possible cent that they could out of you. They weren't making game mechanics that are like, how can we make sure that the player plays as long as they possibly can, so that they were, I don't know, it felt more pure. And today, unfortunately, and this is like an offline game versus an online game, but it was just a really exciting time for RPGs, and it's just really cool to see.
I get out of the first town and I'm just walking down the road and there's somebody standing there asking for my help. And I murdered them and took all their clothes and was like, "This is the greatest game ever."
Yeah, that magic of being able to do whatever you want in these worlds, it was new. You hadn't really experienced anything like that. I think my first big game that opened my eyes to what is possible, it was probably before these. It was probably GTA 3. GTA 3 was really mind-blowing for me when I was able to enter a 3D world. You could do all of these evil things. You can kill pedestrians. You can, prostitutes are all over the place. You can just do whatever you want, do the most terrible things you can think of, or you can play the game. It was a really, really crazy time because there weren't experiences like that. I think GTA 3 was a little bit different because it was based in a somewhat real location, right? Like, it was based on Earth with human characters. And yeah, GTA 3 really, really changed things. And then there were all these RPGs that were happening around the same time that also gave you that option. And I do think that's why Mass Effect is such a special game for me.
One of the folks I worked with said, "Hey, do you want to apply to be the lead tester for Oblivion?" And I was like, "Where do I sign up? Let me get you my resume as soon as I can." And then, like, from then on, I was hooked. I think of Oblivion in hindsight as charming, mainly because of the experience.
I don't know why they keep using they've used this clip in some of their other stuff. I don't know why they don't just recapture it with the Xbox Series X or something. Because here's the thing. Yeah, you have two options when you're doing gameplay capture, right? you could figure out how to plug in your Xbox, do output where you're doing output via those old cables, or you can do it via the Xbox Series X. Here's the thing: the Series X upscaling and 4K, etc., all of that is how we remember playing those games. We don't remember them looking like garbage. So I think when you're presenting old gameplay, you could shoot it on a CRT with somebody playing it and present it that way. But I don't think these shots of it where you've captured it using the worst way to capture it, it doesn't encapsulate what our memory did with these games. Anyway,
Exposure of the remaster. It's like the trip down memory lane, and I remember so much about it that I thought I
God,
forgot.
I got to be honest with you, and I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. We were supposed to be talking about the Starfield update. I think that I want to see a ton of remasters. Why do I want to see more remasters? Because I almost feel like modern game creators have gotten too caught up with the business side of game creation as opposed to the purity of creating something special. They have too many business needs that they need to check off. And I think it's really hampered them to create special experiences. So when I see something like the amazing Elder Scrolls remaster, the Resident Evil remix, I'm just loving this stuff. What would you call Elder Scrolls Oblivion? Because technically, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion is a remaster. It's not a remake. The Dead Space game, it's technically a remake, not a remaster, even though it's 1-to-1. So I think keep capturing the original essence of these old games that we loved. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see people capturing the original essence of those games. Don't mess with it. I know Metal Gear Solid Delta isn't well optimized, but I think it's a great remaster or remake or whatever it is that they made. It is basically 1-to-1 with the original with modern graphics and Unreal Engine 5. And for me, playing through Metal Gear Solid 3 again, even with the performance issues, I think that's an 8 or a 9 still. And I hold to that. Because if you've actually played Delta, you don't particularly feel bothered by the performance issues that are being highlighted by Digital Foundry and such, because it's just a great video game. Most of the time, you're sitting in your locked 30 FPS cutscenes and just having a good time, or 60 FPS if you're on PC, and enjoying the story that was told. So I hope that they do more remakes and remasters that really keep that original essence of the old games.
Being in the behind the scenes for the making of Oblivion, and getting to sit on the couch, while odd at the time, but it was like that first time where it was like I was sort of on the inside, and that was exciting. And then, like, as a QA lead, the sort of project lead production role opened up. And then
Ooh,
we get
Fallout
into
3.
Fallout 3, which was the first game we had guns in. That was like this shift. I was working on a get into.
You know what's funny? This is either the PC version or the Series X version of the game. So for Oblivion, they use the old fuzzy footage, but then for this, they use the fancy footage. And somebody pointed out, like, remake or remaster. Okay, if we're talking Fallout, the original Fallout, I want a remake so it's like Fallout 3. That's what I would advise if they were going to do anything with the original Fallout. So Fallout 1 with, I suppose Fallout 4 level visuals would be a better comparison, but just in that perspective, in that third person, first person perspective that Fallout 3 really popularized, and then obviously modernize it from there. So the better version would be make it like you did with Elder Scrolls Oblivion remastered, and as opposed to just making it Fallout 3 level
Fallout
graphics.
3, which was the first game we had guns in. That was like
God, Fallout 3 is
the
so good.
shift. I was working on Oblivion, and Emil had sent around an email asking for ideas for sort of scrap types of weapons and ideas for weapons to be added to Fallout 3. So I pitched this idea of a gun that shot railroad spikes, which ended up being brought to life by the team as the railway rifle. So that was my
Nice.
first. They saw my idea and they liked it. Right? It was a very exciting time in games.
I love the VAT system. I think the VAT system is so good. Don't mess with VATs. Just keep it going.
And then we go into Skyrim, which is like, oh, it's all the great stuff in Oblivion, but better. We're just making it all better.
Before we get to Fallout 4, I was at IGN still when Skyrim came out, and I had to do a whole bunch of guide videos for that. I was able to figure out how to get the Daedric armor and find all the Daedric hearts and all that stuff. And I think it was one of my more popular videos. But during that time, I had my first million view video ever at IGN. Do you want to know what it was? It was an arrow. It was a stupid arrow to the knee montage. And that was my first million view video ever. IGN Daedric armor. Let me see if it's still, yeah. Okay. So 13 years ago, get the Daedric armor in Skyrim, full walkthrough. Yeah, this looks like the terrible thumbnail. And I bet it was me. Let's see. Was it me or was it Graber? No, this is me. Little montage at the beginning. That's a Destin edit. Yeah, so here's the video 13 years ago from Destin Legary. 1.9 million views. Yeah, your boy had some good hits over at IGN. What else? And then here was my first million view video. I was so salty about this one. It was a stupid video where I went around shooting people in the knee with arrows, and I did a little song. It's so dumb. It was of course it broke 1 million. So it did 1.4 million views. But obviously the Daedric armor went on to to do a little bit better. I don't remember what else I did for the game, but I remember being really proud of the Daedric armor, because if you played that game, you know how hard that is to accomplish. Anyway, back to Starfield.
And then we get into Fallout 4, and we had more, I'll say, modern action-oriented first-person shooting. And I worked really close with the team of folks to get that portion of the game working. So that was super exciting. It was kind of a case where Todd was like, no, you're the right person for this. You guys go, and he just let us go off and do our thing. And we came back a couple months later, and we're like, ta-da, guns! And we got to show it to the team, and the team was really excited about it. And it's like one of those moments that's sort of like, oh, we're doing it. We can do it. It's going to be awesome. And it's sort of like the team gets excited about it and gets behind the project. Got to work on Dogmeat a lot with that team. Like, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? It's like so much fun.
Dogmeat was pretty cool. Boy. I didn't, for me, just my opinion on Fallout 4, I actually love Bethesda more than I realized just watching this video back. I need to give Starfield another shot. Fallout 4 didn't capture me the same way Fallout 3 did. I fell in love with Fallout 3. With Fallout 3, I went into that world, I played all the DLC, and it happened at a time when I think I just went through a breakup and Fallout 3 came out, and I ended up just no-lifing that game, and I did every single thing in that world. I got all the bobbleheads, I did all the magazines, I got all the perks, did all the quests. I did not get that enraptured with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was a little different. I got really into modding Fallout 4. I think I played on PC at the time, and I enjoyed it, and I got several of the endings on Xbox, but not all of them. But yeah, and Fallout New Vegas. I also played a lot of Fallout New Vegas, which I very much enjoyed. Christopher brought that up in chat just now. I enjoyed New Vegas. Played that one. I got the gun from the little kid that can like nuke anybody. That was very, very fun. I still have my saves on Xbox. Most of the Fallout games I played on my Xbox. I think even Fallout 4, my main save was on Xbox. Then I on PC you can just sort of do all of your goofy stuff with mods, so you're invincible or whatever. But yeah, I really love Bethesda games. I hope that they have something really cool planned for Starfield, because that first story DLC did not hit the way it needed to.
76 first multiplayer. There was a summer during 76, and it was like just this summer of adventure, going through the missile silo over and over again, launching nukes.
Yeah, you know what? And when 76 launched, it was bad. It was not a good game at launch, because something was going on with I don't know if I'm using the right term, but like the net code, and your character would be skipping all over the place. You couldn't fight the enemies, and it was like that for a while. Now I know today it's a widely celebrated game, but I've tried to hop back into it, and I can't get my teeth into it. I don't know if like I aged out, because there's this time in your life where somewhere before you have kids and get married and life gets really, really serious, where you don't have a ton going on, or you're not in a super serious relationship or married or something like that, where you can play video games for like, guys, when I used to play a game before having kids, because now I don't have as much time, right? I would start a game and I would play it all day. I'm not even kidding. I would wake up in the morning and I would literally play it until I fell asleep with the controller in my hand. I would go to sleep and I would wake up, maybe eat some breakfast, and I would game all the next day. I went hard on video games. Like when I played, that's how I play. So now when it's like maybe I get 2-3 hours at nighttime, things change a little bit, right? Your priorities end up shifting as you get older. And I think with Fallout 76, I think maybe that old Destin where I would just no life it. I think old Destin would have really, really liked Fallout 76. Old Destin, I don't know if old Destin has the time to get into Fallout 76. And to go further in depth on it, modern games, they don't want you playing other games. They want you living in a single game. Compare the length of Fallout 3 and all of its DLC to Fallout 76. Oh, you don't get to take a break from Fallout 76 or Destiny 2. That's your game. That's where you live. And more gamers are identifying, according to, ironically enough, the IGN study, I believe it was, more and more gamers are identifying not as gamers. Oh, I'm a Minecraft player. I play Fortnite. It's not about PlayStation versus Xbox. It's, this is the platform that I play, and that's where I live. That's all I do. Right? So that's what we're getting into. And I think there's still going to be spaces for like the Expedition 33s and such, but I think something happened around Fallout 76 where my brain I'm just like, so the game never ends and I just have to play this game forever. I don't know if I want to go that hard on games anymore. Anyway, let's get
I still look back and I'm like, it was hard work, but that summer was just like, it was like a blast. I didn't mind being up late because like we were just like a couple of guys playing games together. It was a blast.
It is hard to play everything, Jason.
But Starfield is sort of the culmination. It does so many of the things that those other games do.
Good call, Rob.
But like 4 times as much in a way. Like everything is what we did before plus more for.
Every single thing about Starfield has Destin written all over it. I built the PC you're watching the stream on so that I could play Starfield. And when I jump back into it, it doesn't grip me. I don't get it. Every checkbox is checked for Destin Legary. You have a spaceship. You can get a crew. You can romance people. You go to fight all these crazy aliens. You go to a bunch of different planets like you did in the original Mass Effect, and yet I can't get into it. I need to give it another shot. I don't like, man, like they hit every checkbox that would resonate with. Does anybody else feel like that? It is such a weird situation to be in. It's because it's Bethesda. I've waxed poetic about my love for Bethesda games and how much I love Bethesda games. And yet the one that seems like it was made for me is the only one that I just can't, it's just not grabbing me. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
Fidelity, more complexity. To me, Starfield was like making 4 games. You have your I'm running around shooting aliens and space guys. You have your I'm flying
cool
around
guns,
in the
cool
spaceship,
spaceships.
shooting other spaceships. You have the ship builder game. You have the outpost game. Starfield to me was like making 4 games at once.
You know what? I think that's what it is. Just thinking about it, it's 4 games at once. I think that's why it never gripped me. Fallout 3 is a game that's the perfect size. Playing through Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, I'm just like, oh my God, I miss this so much. I got to play Fallout 3 Delta. I played it over like 3 or 4 nights. And like there's natural stopping points during your story progression where you're like, I know I can pause here. There's not a boss I'm fighting. I just beat the boss. I can take a break here, take a breather, and come back to it. With Starfield, I took a little breather. I come back and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? There's like some cop I was talking to. I just unlocked like the ability to build my own ships. I remember I did something with my ship, and there's this location on the planet, and there's like 4 markers that I got to go check out. And even with Fallout 3, I guess you sort of got into that, but you didn't have like 60 quest markers all at once. So I wonder if maybe it's just like overload. I don't know. I'm just sort of talking it out as I watch this, because like I said, Starfield should be right up my alley.
I think as it comes to Starfield, I'm really excited for players to see what the team's been working on. We have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features that players have been asking for, as well as a new DLC story. I can't go.
Okay, new DLC story, free updates, cool new stuff. For me, it's just like, somebody in chat said I should just restart. You know what? I think you're dead on. I think I'm going to restart it. But here's the problem. I haven't finished Expedition 33. I didn't finish Metaphor Refantasio last year. I didn't finish Black Myth Wukong. I didn't finish Astrobot. I have the Dune MMO that everybody was raving about. So I could be playing the Dune MMO. There's this great new update for Path of Exile. I started playing Path of Exile last night. You turn it on, you end an hour just disappears. Destiny Rising just came out. I'm a big Destiny fan, and there's this new experience in Destiny Rising. That's just off the top of my head. The games that I'm like, oh, I really need to play XYZ, right? Borderlands is right around the corner. Outer Worlds 2, I got to play Outer Worlds 2 at Gamescom, by the way, and I had a blast with that. That's Obsidian, the offshoot from the Bethesda crew, making Bethesda style games. So it's rough out there, man. Silk Song, I'm not like super into Silk Song, but yeah, Lego Batman.
Go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding.
Great.
We're also adding some new game systems and a few other smaller delights. There's also some really interesting stuff coming down the pipe from our verified creators. There's some fun stuff.
Cool.
I just want to say thanks. We really appreciate the support and the enthusiasm. We can't wait to get it into the hands of our players.
So everybody's been talking about this story with Starfield. There's a ton of new content coming with Starfield. I'm curious, how do you feel about Starfield? Is what I said resonating with you at all? Where on paper, every single little detail about that game should should be for you, but for some reason it didn't click. It didn't click into place.